Because of what happened over the weekend, it's between 13 and 14. The line for clean old-fashioned hate. The over-under has been set at 59.5 as Tech drops to 23 in the AP poll, 19 in the coaches poll. Brent Key will join us at 12:45. Now, John Michaels was talking about it this morning. As infantile as the chances are, it's childish to discuss it, but we'll discuss it nevertheless, for we are childlike. It's still possible for Georgia Tech to make the ACC Championship game if Virginia loses to Virginia Tech, SMU loses to Cal, who just fired their coach, and Pitt loses to Miami. So all of those things have to happen for Tech to still make the ACC Championship game, but there's still a chance, technically.
Well, we've seen it before back in the days of 2 teams and 4 teams, how that last Saturday of the regular season, the wreaking havoc. There have been a couple of years where you just said, well, I didn't think that was going to happen. And because it's 12, nobody gets to cry. See, that's the difference. Back in the day when it was 2 and 4, and those were the only possibilities, is I have to be in the top 2, BCS, or I have to be in the top 4, a combination of everything. There were times when you just said, oh, wait, did we win by enough? Now, Notre Dame put up 70, and some people would say, was that excessive? I'm going to play a cut later. Do you know how that game started for Notre Dame? They scored 21 points without touching the ball offensively. So I just want you to know, like, that was a crap show to begin with. But Notre Dame put up 70. Why? Because if you're going to lose 2 games, terrible schedule, what do you got to do? You got to thump people to the tune of thumping them 70-7. If you're given an opportunity, take advantage of it. This weekend, it's lose and be in, lose and go home for certain teams. You just got to find a way to win. It's a little bit different than it would have been in the old days in terms of trying to impress. Because now with this many conference championship games mattering, you got to get to the conference championship game. If you're a team with 2 losses, get to the conference championship game that's laid out for you. SMU on paper is the most difficult one to think that it's going to go Georgia Tech or anybody else's.
You just hope Cal rallies the troops because they lost their coach.
Or SMU lays down, or you have 3 turnovers, or something happens injury-wise, or whatever. Look, at the end of the day, upsets do happen in college football. There has to be a series of events, though, sometimes that get you to the upset. Can you stop when those series of events starting, and you just go, we're the better football team here. We are not getting derailed because of this.
So you're down there on Saturday, sold-out crowd, great anticipation, great energy, and Tech comes out and lays the ultimate egg. In the blink of an eye, seemingly, they're down in 18-plus minutes of game action, 28-0. Now, to their credit, they didn't quit, but this is a team that started off slow, seemingly all season long. And I guess sooner or later, that's going to burn you. It burned them at NC State, and it certainly burned them on Saturday night. You can't keep doing this.
Well, the NC State game told you had no margin, and then you did this one. So the NC
Even
State
Boston
game,
College. I mean, what are you doing coming out of the gate like that off a bye?
Well, nobody said it yet, but can I offer this up? What day is this game this week?
Friday.
That means it's a short week, and Georgia has less to fix than you do. So your sort of window got closed when you have a lot to fix that you haven't been able to fix in weeks. You've had 3 Wednesdays. You've had 3 Thursdays. You've had 3 Fridays to fix this. You have less time to fix what is now an inherent problem. This is not glitchy. This is not, freakish. This is a real problem. And if you want to tell me that, look, at the end of the day, Boston College helped you out. Pitt helped you out because they helped you out because you had a coach make a terrible decision for them up 14.
The fake punt.
Couldn't even believe what was happening there. I was just like, all right, you really want to play with this kind of fire? The problem is you didn't take advantage of it because she was still in a hole. And it was the 28-14 pick 6. But it's 3 plays before that when Haynes King, my seat, as soon as it happened, I texted you guys. I said, you guys are going to have to tell me because I don't have a replay. Could he have bounced this thing out to the pylon? Because it looked like he had one guy to fake, and he decided to lower his shoulder and maybe try to do it that way instead of taking the sprint towards the pylon, which I think, from where I was sitting live, it looked like he had a lot of real estate over there.
And next thing you know, they go the other way, and it's 35-14, which in effect was the end of the game. Here's Brent Key on yet another slow start.
If you had a checklist, I could probably check all the boxes. I mean, couldn't stop. We couldn't run the football. Couldn't. We had drops. We had poor protection. Definitely got our tails whooped at the line of scrimmage. Penalties. We carried on throughout the game, and so really, absolutely everything.
Well, do you know what also happened? And it hadn't happened many times this year. Their quarterback outplayed our quarterback. Their quarterback outplayed.
I got to tell you something. That kid is as good, maybe better than advertised. Because I told you for weeks, this team is the one that scares me. This game is the one that scares me. That kid's a true freshman. You want to talk about poise? Now, I don't know if he's going to stay there in the day and age of the portal. I don't want Pat Narduzzi yelling at me because he knows his players get poached.
Well, you can't tamper.
You got something there, man.
I don't think you're offering him any money to go to a different school, so I think you're okay even in the Narduzzi.
Yeah, but you're planting the seed.
No, I think a lot of people are screaming in his ear, you're too good for Pitt.
That kid's a hell of a player. That running back, another true freshman, hell of a player.
Yeah, they won the quarterback battle.
They got some talent there, man.
They won the quarterback battle. And look, when you have a good quarterback playing against that type of defense, especially for the first half, you're going to pay a price, and you paid a price. And you couldn't get out of the hole.
The explosive plays coming time and time and time again, including the game clincher at the end. Once again, we turn to Coach Brent Key.
Hit a 56-yarder. We're trying to, obviously close, get the ball back. So you're playing low safeties, and something pops in the middle. You're gonna. That's the nature of it. When you got it, 11 guys on the line of scrimmage. 9 to 11 guys at the line of scrimmage. Right? You don't anticipate those things popping. You can't let them pop like that. So we'll see when we see the tape on it. But yeah, a lot of the runs they're really hitting in that B area, kind of the B gap area. Bouncing in there and spitting outside. They were push cracking the safety and crack plays. Didn't show up fast enough on a couple of them.
You had running back eyes. His eyes must have gotten so wide when he realized, if I just bounce, I am gone. There is nothing between me and the goal line. And that's what happens. He's talking about it. When you want to cheat and you need the football back and you cheat, you stuff it at the line of scrimmage, you get a guy bouncing it out, a kid with speed. There was a world in front of him. And that's how the game basically finishes, because at that point it's not a one-score game anymore, and it's really late.
And go back to the NC State game. Brent Key talked about it. He came out with us and talked about it. Up the middle. The problem. Giving up big plays up the middle. Is it your linebackers? Your linebackers weren't good on that play. They weren't where they were supposed to be. So is this a problem you can fix, like you said, Chris, in a limited amount of time by Friday against a team that's peaking in the Georgia Bulldogs? I don't know, man. It's a tall task.
I'll ask because I'm supposed to ask. I don't even know if you wanted to relegate Blake Gideon to doing something else on game day. I don't know who would call your defense. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's personnel or if it's the guy calling the plays. He's a young play caller on the defensive side. Is there anybody there that you would say, hey, man, at a minimum, we're going to split duties. At a minimum, this game plan is going to be drawn up by a couple of people, not just one. On game day on Friday, we're not necessarily just going to have one guy totally responsible for this. I don't know. I mean, I'll ask. You got a short week to try to fix things, and sometimes we've seen coaches do it. I watched Dan Campbell do it. I watched Dan Quinn do it. You go, hey, this ain't working, and I ain't going out like a sucker.
Against NC State, Boston College, and now Pitt, in those 3 games, on average, Tech has allowed over 41 points and over 510 yards per game. Guess what? Those numbers tell you this one isn't going to be close on Friday. Those numbers tell you that. Now, it's a rivalry game, and anything can happen in rivalry games. We all know that. But on paper, they got a lot of work to do. I think every Tech fan would agree with that statement. A lot of work to do defensively.
As long as I hear that Gunnar Stockton is fine health-wise, I'm not telling you he's not. As long as I hear that line's just going to go up. I will not be surprised if that's a 17 by the time they kick this thing off on Friday. I don't know where the Georgia Tech money is going to come from based upon what this weekend was.
And then you're talking about offensively, Haynes King couldn't bail you out. The pick 6 that he throws, the interception that he threw earlier, the pick 6 obviously leads to a touchdown. The pick that he throws earlier leads to a touchdown. And he was getting knocked around, and he's beat up. So I know he's as tough as anybody, but how healthy is he going to be on Friday? Because he took a ton of shots all season long, especially on Saturday night.
Night game Saturday night, short week coming up, less time in the tub. So all of these things lead you to certainly say that Georgia's in the driver's seat for a game that I was hoping, I think everybody was hoping. I think even Georgia fans, look, they don't mind Georgia Tech losing. But if you were going to just beat them up as a feel-good-about-themselves team, maybe that would have been more fun. Maybe a Georgia fan, you go, good, get out of the ACC game. Maybe you're going to actually lay down a little bit. I don't know. I was just hoping this game was going to have the extra bump that it would have had Tech taking care of their business on Saturday.
3 of 14 on 3rd down, 1 of 4 on 4th down, completely disjointed at times, but no one's going to feel sorry for him.